Welcome to the Divine Feminines podcast and channel. I'm your host, Steph Desar, and in today's episode, I'm going to explain what is the new earth. You probably hear me say it many times, and other light workers, you might hear the term around the collective, especially if you're awakening and you're consuming this type of content about mind, body, soul, and you feel like you're in the ascension journey. You're probably hearing the words new earth, new earth, new earth paradigm, new paradigm for love, a new paradigm for the earth, many terms like this. So I want to kind of cover what the new earth is in today's episode and give you a little bit more clarity of how I refer to the new earth. And I think that will give some good insight into what I mean when I say it. So before I get started, don't forget to like and subscribe this channel. It's the Divine Feminines on YouTube. We're on all major podcast platforms as well. That's Apple, Spotify, Google. And we're also on TikTok and Instagram. That's Divine Feminines with a Z at the end. So like and subscribe this channel. Well, we drop an episode every Friday on mind, body, soul empowerment, divine masculine, divine feminine, how to balance the energies, twin flame journey, soul empowerment, just finding your purpose and being the best self you can possibly be, and basically embodying new earth. So we're going to get into that in a moment. And also, if you subscribe to YouTube and you hit the bell button, you get updates and notifications. But I also drop bonus content on YouTube on the moon and also portals, and we've got a new moon coming up or a full moon coming up, whichever one, and you'll definitely see that I put some energy guidance, journal prompts, and all of that good stuff. So there's something in it for everyone. This is for guys and girls. It's not gender specific, okay? Because we've all got masculine and feminine energies within us. You probably see me all moving around. I'm just trying to get comfortable here. Normally I just sit in one place, but the sun is setting and I was trying to get the sunset. I was going to sit outside, but it was a little bit noisy. I thought actually you can still kind of see the vibes. It's getting a little bit darker, so bear with me here. I'm going to try and record this really quickly. And I think this is a quick episode actually. So new earth, right, first and foremost, the new earth is not something, let me just say what it's not. It's not like we've got this brand new separate planet. I mean, there's probably lots of things going around about how they've discovered some other planet and things like that. I've come across that sort of stuff. That's not what I'm going to talk about today. But new earth isn't actually a physical 3D planet, okay? It is a concept that we use, and I've been using, and many other of those light workers in the collective, those that are on the sort of, that are ascending and that really resonate with that, 5D consciousness are using. New Earth is literally available to all of us. It really stands for a new way of living, of being, of doing. And it actually isn't that new. So I know we call it New Earth, but it's actually the original form of why we're here, mankind, our soul, and really tapping into that true essence of who we are. It also relates to 5D consciousness. So when you see, 5D, 3D to 5D, I'm going to talk about that in a minute, 3D to 5D. 5D is very much the embodiment of New Earth. New Earth isn't somewhere that you get up and you go, okay, I want to go to New Earth. Steph seems like she's in the new earth. Let me go meet up with Steph. Let's go link up with Steph. And if I hang around with Steph for a bit, I'll probably be on that new earth that she keeps talking about. No. New earth is born within us. It happens through us. It happens through our own transformation and our own frequency of movement within our energies and our vibrations. So it's not necessarily something that you can say, I'm going to go to New Earth on one day, Tuesday I might have to go back to Old Earth, and Wednesday I'll go back to New Earth. It's not like a vacation or a holiday. I know that it looks like I'm vacating right now. I'm not really. But, I'm definitely living in the New Earth, and this is my paradigm. What might seem like a holiday isn't, but it's my New Earth reality. And also, that's what I want to say, is that the New Earth, I'm going to go into what I perceive New Earth to be and how I have been embodying the New Earth and how I've been experiencing it, because it's best me speaking from my truth. But it's also your reality and how you create your reality. Because remember, we are all creators and we're all here to create. So it's not that, you can't create your own reality. there has been however many hundreds of thousands of years on this earth where there's been torture, there's been war, there's been persecution, there's been sport, like humans in conducting in sport to see other humans suffer. I mean, how like demonizing is that? How destructive is that? And I've spoken about, masculine, feminine energies, and this is not to say either the masculine or the feminine are better than each other, because we need both. We need them in balance. But especially where our earth has also had quite density on earth, a lot of heavy karma. Karma's lessons. If you don't learn the lessons, karma's not a bad thing. Karma is lessons. If you don't learn the lessons and you don't level up, you carry this heavier karma. The karma keeps carrying with you. And thus is the energy is dense, right? And for those that know Dolores Cannon and the 3 Waves of Volunteers and the New Earth, great book to read, because that definitely talks to this. Absolutely does. She is a regression life specialist. She taps into the subconscious brain, bless her heart and soul. She's passed now. She's got a number of books. I recommend reading up on her. She has managed to write these books through her sessions with various clients having their permission, and she was able to gather what's happening on earth and why we come into earth and these souls and why they're incarnating on earth. And you might resonate with being a starseed. I sure do. Did an episode on that as well if you want to check it out, starseeds. But basically, we have had quite a horrendous experience on earth with humans. And if you go to see in the animal kingdom, it doesn't necessarily, animals don't kill their own and then do it as a sport or, and persecute each other. There is none of that. It's a very simple cycle of life. And yes, there's a pyramid of like certain animals eat other smaller animals and they're, and so it goes on. So, but humans have created a lot of man-made entities. And one of the biggest things that is, I think, demonstrative of the human race, of humanity, is its embodiment and its reflection of the being of what's within our bodies, right? And that being the mind and the soul and the heart space, and then we've got the body. And I feel that a lot of what has happened here on earth and a lot of what we've witnessed is that there has been a lot of fear, and with fear then comes ego. We've had a real, a real force of masculine energy, but not healthy masculine energy. It's very much distorted masculine energy. And with that distorted masculine energy, it's been going on for years, right? It's not been so easy as to say, okay, we're going to just stop it. So we've had so much war, we've had so many problems on earth. You've seen illnesses, droughts, famines, all kinds of things happening on earth. And you think to yourself, how is this possible? Why can't it, get better? We all sort of say we want world peace, and there's so many charities and all of these things happening. But why does it seem like it's not shifting? Because you can create loads of these sort of organizations and loads of these sort of points of awareness to say, okay, here's where the problem is. You can identify with the problem and start pointing to it. But that in itself, energetically, for me, doesn't actually solve the problem. Because I've learned through the methods of quantum physics. I'm moving around a lot, aren't I, here? I need a cushion. One sec. So, I never do this on videos, but you know what? This is me being real. I need a cushion. I need a couple cushions. So, we come join me. Here's me in my bikini, just like doing this video. I mean, you know me, guys. I love doing videos in bikinis because I love it. If it's hot, it's hot. Hey. Anyway, back to the narrative that I'm going into. So we point to things and we say that's not working well. There's famine here, there's war here, there's destruction here, there's civil war, there's religious war, there's all these problems. And then we say, okay, let's create these organizations to fix them. I don't think that that's really worked, because there's all these organizations in the world, there's all these charities, and I'm not dissing the charities. Lots of the religious beliefs are like, oh my God, we're creating suffering here and here. We need, there is in all religions this kind of identification that the suffering is created from the human being itself, right? So we are responsible for that. So there is some common denominators there. But ultimately, the way Earth has been, and if you look at your generations, I'm going to go from my own experience. When I look at my family and I look at the generations in my family, my dad's generation, my grandmother's generation, there's a lot of dense energy. There's a lot of dense energy. That is not new Earth energy. That's what I would call the old Earth, the old paradigm. There's a lot of judgment. There's a lot of shame. There's a lot of fear. There's a lot of ego-driven frequency. And when I say ego-driven frequencies, I'm talking more 3D frequencies. So when we go from the 3D to the 5D, the 3D is like very much like very focused on this space, what it is now. The 5D is like detachment. It's like unconditional love. It's higher vibrations. We're moving from denser energies to higher ascending energies. Love, peace, joy. Okay, and love, peace, joy are not possible when you say, okay, let's just go throw some money into a charity and go and do this. Yeah, there can be the intention behind it, but this is my point. There needs to be the intention behind it. I might be going around in a bit of a scattered way right now because I'm trying to say as much as I can in the way I feel. So let me go back to the way the Earth has come and is evolved is that there's been this sort of every man for themselves type thing. If you think about colonization and what it's done to our Earth, and I'm speaking from, my own personal perspective, colonization, one could argue, oh, well, it brought goodness to some of those countries. But no, it didn't. It was driven from ego, and it was driven from, it was greed, and it was to go and take from other countries, okay, and to capitalize off them. Now, there was persecution in those moments, and that created a lot of resistance, war, and problems. And then that in itself was passed down through trauma and wounds to many families. And even those that were creating the colonization, they were doing it from a place of ego and fear. That gets passed down to their generations, and that, vice versa, everything is getting passed down. And in Dolores Cannon's book, The 3 Waves of Volunteers and the New Earth, she speaks of these volunteers. She speaks of the different 3 waves. The first wave came on Earth, and they really struggled. Those souls came and incarnated on Earth, and it was just too dense on Earth. So we're going back, like, when we think about the first wave, it's probably like my dad's age group, maybe my grandma's. My dad's like going to be 77. Bless his heart and soul. My grandma lived to 100 and she was born in 1916, died in 2016. So I would say that generation. And they came to Earth and it was just too dense. They couldn't do it. They couldn't really make change. What change were they trying to make? They were basically coming to Earth, signed up, soul contracts, to come and bring light. And most of those souls, and not every soul is like this, but we have Earth souls and we have star souls, starseed souls, right? And then you've got the star souls, like I think is it Orion? They're just the greedy souls. They come to Earth because they just want to capitalize and just be famous and make loads of money, and just it's all about me. They're not coming to Earth to create greatness. But let's not focus about them. I've spoken about them before. They're the sort of the reptilians and the lizard souls, right? Yeah, the shapeshifters. And actually, just before I park it, they're very much those ones that you see running the world, may call in the shots, and if you're not aware and if you're not ascended to a level of consciousness to know that that is what's going on, you'll be worshipping them because that's what they want. And it's worshipping these very evil souls that have come just to keep everything in the old Earth paradigm and not allow it to go to New Earth, because what they ultimately do is they basically do the choreography to keep a certain vibration running. They operate a system, the matrix, that creates this framework that if you're in that framework of the matrix, you are literally in the vibrations of fear, of control, and you will feel fearful, you will feel afraid, you won't know your power, you won't tap into it. Unconditional love and all of that great stuff, all of that higher vibrational energy is not possible when you're in the matrix. And so you have to tap out of that whole framework to then start to realize, oh my gosh, there's so much more. it's not this 3D, there's a 5D reality. Oh, that's actually New Earth. But then in order to get into that New Earth, it's about embodying it, right? So I hope you guys are with me. For those that are listening to this episode, probably you're going to be like, yes, I'm out of the matrix, I get it. Some of you might be like, oh, what do you mean by the matrix? Watching the news, listening to all the stuff on the mainstream media, all of that is basically orchestration. I don't know if you guys have seen, but even this, I'm going to say it, like you've seen the stuff like about Ukraine and all of these other things that go on around the world. There's so many of these things that are staged. I've even seen footage where they're actually filming it like it's a movie. Movies are just basically another manifestation of what they do on the world stage. I mean, wasn't it Shakespeare that said the whole world is a stage? I mean, why was he saying that? Dude knew what he was talking about, guys. Yeah, and this is going back hundreds of years. So once you tap out of that and you realize, actually, if I choose not to believe in those things or to consume those things, then I consume what I want to. And then I'm creating the reality that I want. And that's what New Earth is about. But let's come back to the whole density on Earth. The density on Earth is the amalgamation, the aggregation of the beings on Earth and the vibration that they all individually have. Okay? So we all have the power within. World peace does not happen where we just give some money to a couple of charities here, there, and everywhere, and then we're going to go and create world peace. I'm not saying that putting money in and giving donations and helping is going to help. Yes, absolutely, but it needs to start with here. And this cultivation of the peace starts from within. It's actually not in these tangible 3D things. It's an energy, it's a vibration, it's within. It's the healing that we create within to find that inner peace, that inner joy and fulfillment. Now, as we then we vibrate that, and the other souls are vibrating that and ascending higher. What do we mean by ascension? Ascension isn't like getting on a plane and going, okay, I'm going on the ascension journey. Yo, it's like from here to Hawaii. No. The ascension journey is vibrating through those lower densities and ascending to the higher vibrations. And to be honest, once you start doing this, you can't really go backwards. Sometimes on the healing journey, we know that it goes like that. Yeah. Don't be fooled though. As you're healing and you're committed to the healing, even if you feel like you're being pulled back and it feels a bit tough, you are still ascending and you're still going up higher in terms of your vibration and your consciousness. Victim consciousness and narcissistic consciousness is all about old Earth. It's all in that 3D sort of paradigm, 3D consciousness. We start to shift from 3D to 4D, and most of what has been happening in the last few years have been starting to push beings into the 4D consciousness. COVID and that whole lockdown thing, I said the word, as much as I was like, that's BS, it's all it's all been staged. It was definitely staged to keep people in fear, yes, but you see, you cannot have fear without freedom. You cannot have love without hate. So as it was creating fear, it was also creating freedom. Freedom where? Freedom here. People were like starting to go, wait a minute, I don't even know if I know myself. Oh my gosh, I can't even leave my house, so I need to check myself. Oh my God, all of these things that I keep running from. Actually, that's why I don't feel at peace. And that's why I'm always getting bored, because I need to be out and doing stuff. So people were starting to come to that realization. So it did serve a purpose. Yes, I do believe that it happened as another orchestration to keep the old Earth paradigm. We're in the actual current range of the Great Solar Flash. It's a reset. Every 25,000 years, the Earth has to diminish all of its lowest vibrations. Now, in order to do that, the Earth doesn't just go and boom and it clicks out. The constellations, the stars, the universe is orchestrating this. The Galactic Federation is all part of this. We're all part of this. It's a brilliant time to be here on Earth. And we've all come, and many of us have come to bring that light. And in order to bring that light, we're having to go through our own transmutation and understand who we really are. So there might be quite heavy karma and dense energy that is embodied in our family and genetically through our ancestry. I definitely am the one in my family that has to take it on. I had to walk through the valleys of the shadow of death, right? To rebirth, right? That's what that meant. I had to do several deaths and rebirths. I'm here now and I'm doing what I'm meant to do. So I ain't giving up. I'm going to keep going, and I want you guys to join me. And I know that I've got a lot of you guys around me. I can feel you. I can feel the energies, the Archangelic realm, the Galactic Federation. We're here. They're here. And I'm just grateful that I can put this message out as well and share this. So where was I going? So the energies were dense. Well, we were talking about the volunteers. We had the first wave. The second wave is what I think I'm in. And it's sort of like these generations that maybe are born in the 70s, 80s, 90s region. And then we've got these younger ones coming through, these crystal children, these indigo children that are being born now. Some of them are very powerful beings, these kids. Make sure, you tend to your kids. Your kids probably know a lot more than you. Their souls know what they're here for. And some of the teenagers and, those that are getting into their 20s. But those that are in their sort of like 30s, 40s, 50s, there's a good group within there that have been leading the way and been doing a lot of this work, and that have become healers, light workers, and have found that inner peace within themselves and been going on the ascension journey. And that is what is creating that new earth paradigm, the new paradigm for love. So New Earth is an embodiment of us. It is us finding our true inner peace and happiness and vibrating towards higher levels of frequency of love, of unconditional love and compassion. Meaning that everything we do is conscious. Every decision we make, everything that we go and we're out there and we're with people, we are very conscious of what we're doing and how we're behaving. We're not projecting, and we're not being triggered. As much as we become more and more evolved, those sort of trigger points, they start to dissolve because we're doing the healing. The projection starts to dissolve and disintegrate because the healing has been integrating, and the growth and the level up has been happening. So, for example, if I take myself, I've been on the journey, been healing, been doing a lot of this work, self-work. And I talk about timelines. Timelines are all here. It's all here, right? It's all within the mind and within our field of what our timeline is. It's the thought process. We can have gazillions of timelines happening at any moment in time. We give energy to the timeline that we are constantly thinking of, what we're constantly focused on. It's, attention goes where energy flows. It's literally like attention goes to that timeline and creates the timeline where the energy is flowing to, right? It's the same sort of concept. So when we are thinking about certain things, and we're going to keep feeding into those timelines, if you keep focusing on the past, you're actually not present and you're not actually free. You're actually in suffering. Eckhart Tolle talks about this in his book, The Power of Now, that anything that is beyond this moment now is suffering. And so if you think about the world and what's been happening, a lot of it has been done from ego, done from fear, done from control, done from very low vibrational places. And then what it's created is this like imprisonment of not being present, the imprisonment of being everywhere but present, right? And that's what the Matrix does. It creates this system framework to keep you in all these other holding patterns other than your present moment and being here and being engaged with the here. The phones are terrible. I mean, I'm grateful for my phone because I can record this, but we have to find that power within ourselves and create those boundaries, level up, do the healing, protect our energy, remove certain people from our lives, take certain directions from our lives, transform where we need to transform. Part of that leveling up into the new earth vibration, into 5D consciousness. 5D consciousness is unconditional love. It's compassion, right? It's real, I'm present and I'm really conscious of who I am and the decisions I make. It's also about that self-love. It's about what we're giving to our heart and soul and what we're nourishing our body with. So I'm going to say this, and for the meat eaters here, don't get upset. Don't get triggered. Well, if you get triggered, you get triggered, right? But I truly believe that, to really embody the new earth in its full entirety is that whatever we're consuming is in harmony to this earth. The animals, they're our brothers and sisters. Who said that we were meant to eat animals? I'm not even going to get into this too much, but who said we were meant to? Go way back and really find the proof of it. It's just been a habitual way of doing things that has been passed down. Humans have created a lot of the problem. It has been man-made problems. Humans have created the suffering and then created other suffering through their own mind and their entrapment and their imprisonment. And, unfortunately, when the first wave came, they weren't able to really shift human consciousness in the way that it needed. So we had to wait, and more generations had to be born. So the subsequent generations came in, and then we came through and started to do the changes. And now more is shifting, and the acceleration of that shift is happening faster and faster and faster. So when I say I'm living in the new earth, it's because I am really giving to myself in the way that I'm meant to on this journey. I'm ascending, I'm taking the calling, I'm going into I'm walking in blind faith a lot of the time. I still do. It's not like, I have a day off, but it's an always on commitment. What I put in my body, I'm very conscious of. Most of the times I'm fasting. We don't need that much food. That's just greed. I'm very purposeful. I'm very intentional about what goes in my body. Is it coming into my body to give me the fuel I need for my journey? Where is it coming from? What is it made of? Does it operate? Is it a good vibration? I'm not touching any animal in that. And I tell you, that does have a powerful impact. I know a lot of you might be like, I can't give up meat. I'm telling you, I never planned to give up meat. I didn't say, I'm going to be vegan. I never planned it. But as I was ascending and as things were going, it was happening for me. So, as you naturally evolve and go there, you may find that is for you. I've heard some people say their body type cannot be vegan and all of that. Look, I'm not here to be a doctor and say what you can and can't do. Just know that I didn't consult a doctor. I just did my own research, and at the end of the day, no one knows your body better than you. And when you're present and you're tapped into yourself and you know yourself, you'll know how your body feels. You'll know that if I eat this, I feel like this. If I do this, I feel like this. You have the best guidance system because you have the inner guidance system. You own it all. You're the creator. You are the universe. You are a microcosm of the universe that exists. Don't forget the power that you have. Stop putting your power into these systems, into all of these things that have been created by man. They've been created by man. They've not been created by you. Okay? And I'm not saying that they're bad, because there's a lot of institutions and things like that have helped the world. Don't get me wrong. But now where we're going and where we are, when you start to embody these high vibrations, 5D consciousness, and really tap into 5D consciousness, you're letting go of victim consciousness, narcissistic consciousness, toxicity, coming out of very, very low vibrational relationships, situations, really coming out and transforming and taking that ascension, you start to get levels of protection because you're operating at an energetic level that is almost like the eagle flying over the sky. And you start to fly higher and higher. It doesn't mean that you're better than anyone else. But what naturally happens is it's all vibrations, it's all energy. It's the field, it's the quantum field. So all of those energies that are, embodying that 5D, the unconditional love, the peace, the joy, the happiness, the fulfillment, the real goodness, they all start to mélange. I'm speaking in French. They all start to blend, right? And they start to, they just naturally all diffuse and infuse together. So when you are in that consciousness, what is New Earth, I'm getting there now, I'm finally getting there, is basically seeing whatever's around you is peaceful. And whatever you're experiencing is just feeling good because it's reflecting in your environment what is here. And so that starts to become more and more. And then you start to realize, and which I have, who's on this timeline of New Earth. And I've realized, I know clearly who's on that New Earth timeline because they're very much with me. They don't have to be with me 24/7, but they're with me telepathically. There's a lot of telepathy. There's a lot of exchange. There's a lot of co-creation. There's a lot of light worker, sort of collective soul tribe work being done. There's a lot of movement and ascension. There's a lot of growth. Don't get me wrong. I have to speak to my dad, and I know where my dad's at. You know, he's still indoctrinated with the Catholic religion, and I still speak truth to him. And I'm like, you still with that indoctrinated book? Okay, cool. But that's not changing the world. The world changes when you change, and this is what New Earth is. New Earth is created when you create the new Earth within you. When you tap into that real power within you, that's where New Earth is created. New Earth is the embodiment. It is through you that New Earth comes. And so through you, as you're doing that, then you're aligning with more of that is happening around you and those vibrations. Now, I truly believe that those that are doing that work and coming into the paradigm of New Earth and the new blueprint for love, which I've done an episode on, so it talks more about the relationships. And twin flames are very much been leading the way there. It doesn't make them any better, but it's been a very harsh awakening for my twin flame posse out there. You guys know that I resonate with being one, and I'm living my best life now. It's been hard. It's been hard. I'm living my best life because I'm truly happy with where I'm at. And I'm truly grateful for my twin flame journey and my twin flame. I have so much love for my twin flame because they are me and I am them. But it was that it was that reflection that I needed. It was a major set of reflective moments, interactions, encounters that helped me move into this ascension, that helped me start to understand what New Earth was within me. Now, I've noticed something. I've noticed that there's a lot of other scripts happening and timelines happening. And as I start to jump more timelines and go in certain directions, I'm being pulled away from people, or just naturally just things are diverging. So I noticed in we're in 2022 right now. So when you're listening to this, I'm recording it not long after Lionsgate portal. So you're going to probably hear this maybe, I don't know, in the month of September, I'm guessing. So you will, I noticed that as the energies of this year have been transformational, we've also got, the lunar, the eclipse energy of Taurus and Scorpio, and that's very powerful. And I have a lot of that in my placement in my chart. But I noticed that there was nothing too obvious in my life that needed to be removed. But what was happening was things started to shift, new people were coming in, or certain encounters were happening that then shone the light on other things that were happening in my life or other people in my life, and then started to show me that's not the timeline you're on, because you're supposed to be here, but if you go here you can't be here, and there's certain people here, so you actually need to go in this direction. And I found myself doing some very extraordinary, unexpected shifts and speaking certain truths and navigating in a direction that I didn't even think. If I thought about it like 6 months back, I'd be like, what? So wait, I'm here now? And you know what I mean? And so things are happening so quick. Expect the unexpected. And it's exciting. Because when you say, yes, I'm ready for it, you don't stop. I don't hold any passengers. There is no attachment. If I have to just get up and just keep it moving, I have to. There's love and there's compassion. And I speak my truth and I say it from a place of real, love and genuineness. But you can't, because New Earth cannot have you holding yourself back, because there are those timelines that you are converging to, moving to. And there's other souls and other beings that are coming together in these New Earth timelines, doing this mission work, coming through and ascending further and helping create that New Earth blueprint. So I do truly believe that right now where we're at, there is this formation of the New Earth. We actually are creating it. And there's more coming in, and a lot of us that are sort of like leading the way doesn't make us any better. It's just that that's what our soul signed up for. And a lot of twin flames that have been on the twin flame journey and awakened from several years back. And when I say several years back, I'm going back like 4 years, 5 years back. You started to awaken from a twin flame experience, maybe more. They're definitely right now creating this blueprint. Some of you may have not been on the twin flame journey, but have been awakening from that time ago, and I do feel that it's a lot of that now. But some have been awakening in the last few years and definitely started to help build this, to help for those that are going to awaken or are starting to awaken. So we're creating that way of new earth. And as the new, because it's going to start, guys, it's getting busy, right? You think about Noah's Ark. Think about Noah's Ark, 2x2. It's going to get really busy, and there's going to be a lot more souls coming forward. And we are here. We have this huge, beautiful, accountable responsibility, but it's beautiful to create this real, safe, beautiful new earth. And it starts with us making sure that we create that new earth in our day-to-day, in our life. And we embody it. And wherever we go, we're taking new earth with us because it's in us. So, and then you start to see more souls coming through, right? Whether they're to be on your timeline or not, it's fine. We're not attaching to any circumstance, situation, energy, person, whatever. So that's what I want to say about New Earth. I want to do more about New Earth. I want to talk about, like, for some of you that are listening, it might go over your head. And I do want to do something around how you tap out of the matrix and really shift towards the New Earth. How can you sort of really take more charge of accountability of cultivating that new earth within you? But I just needed to get this out because it's been in the plan, you know, like when I was out in Mexico, and you guys probably seen those videos when I was in the jungle. New earth topic was something I wanted to do. Shout out to my soul fam, brother Connor, because we talk about New Earth, and he's a big Dolores Cannon fan. And I was like, yo, bro, I need to talk about New Earth. And obviously it wasn't time. And I think certain things had to just happen. And today I was just really feeling it. I was like, today's the New Earth episode. It is. And I was just laying there, meditating, kind of just soaking in the vibes. And I could just feel everything coming to me. No, this is what New Earth is. This is basically your embodiment of it and how you've been witnessing it and what you've been experiencing stuff. So that's what this episode's about. So I hope that makes sense. I hope you've learned something, or just, you know, I'm not trying to teach as such. I just hope it gives you some enlightenment and some insight as to how I see New Earth. And I hope that is valuable and useful for you, because that's all I'm really here to do, is just kind of shine some light on my own wisdom and share it, because it won't be valuable if I just keep it to myself. That's not what New Earth is about. New Earth is about we're all coming together, we're sharing, we're growing, we're lifting. There is abundance for us all. There is unlimited potential for us all. There is no scarcity. Yes, and I studied economics, and the whole concept of scarcity is just for the supply and demand model, and there is no such thing. This earth is abundant, and this new earth is even more abundant. There is no lack, there is no limitations, there are no restrictions. It is just pure love, light, peace, joy, abundance, unconditional love and compassion. Okay, with that being said, I'm going to love you and leave you. I'm going to go shower, maybe put on a face mask and go for dinner, because it is nighttime now and I am starving. But anyway, love you lots and sending you lots of love and light. Mwah, 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 mwah. Bye, Soul Tribe. See you again soon.